Hello, everybody. It is Friday, the 15th of December. I want to talk life and death, heaven and earth, and I want to talk about higher levels of consciousness. Again, something everybody is banding about. We are going to a higher level of consciousness. What does that even mean? What are you saying? How is that to be achieved? A higher level of consciousness. So, and I want to talk about the different realms and the different heavens and the ones in the astral realm, which seem to be the ones mainly that people here are connected to when we talk about energy vampires. I want to come to that as well. Yeah, or if they see other forms attached to a living form, another consciousness attached to a living form. So, and I'm reasoning from below. As below, so above. And I'm not going the other way around. I'm going from what I know, what I've experienced myself, what I can see in this world, and the experiences, spiritual, supernatural experiences of others. In which case I must go on trust, but because I have not experienced it myself. But I am reasoning from here, from something that I know. Yeah? I'm going from knowing. And I'm not shooting myself out there to a place that I do not know and try to start reasoning from there. From something that you do not know. So from the foundation of the experienced reality. Because if we say if the spirit creates the material, and then you can see the spirit in the material, you can see them by their fruit, and it is the fruit that you know. So go from there. So let's go first of all the experience of heaven, near-death experiences, and they're very varied. And again, what people say they see or where it is they're going. More than one heaven, definitely more than one heaven. One thing I find is people say they go to a place and, they saw everything was clarity and they knew everybody there. Yeah? And they felt so connected and they felt love. They felt a great love. Well, one of the reasons why that might be is because they were all like you. That is to say, those that are of the same vibration will cluster together. Those that are on the same wavelength will cluster together above. So it might be that when you say, I knew everything there and I felt this great love, that you are on this level of self-love. And the reason why you love the others is because they are like you. And the reason why you know everything there is they all know the same thing. And then it is actually a delusion to think you know all. You know all that is within that cluster of consciousness. Yeah? But that cluster of consciousness itself is not all. Others say they see family. Again, what created your connections here? What did you spend your energy on? Which connections did you build? Yeah? That created you, your vibration, by giving and receiving. So either you were together with those that were all like you, and you completely disconnected from everything else. That's the heaven you're going to. family was that which you spent your energy on, that created you, those interactions. That is where you will go. Notably, I find Jewish accounts of heaven. Yeah? So, especially religious Jews, they see themselves going to a heaven, to a temple, where you will study Torah. Well, that is what they did here. And they were together with those that studied Torah. Sadly, only in the book, disconnected from life, but that's another thing. So that is what they spend all their energy on. That is what they have become, the student of Torah. And they will be together with students of Torah. Other things that can, and I want to talk about that in the end, create heavens, is an intention, and that is the heaven created by the Lord God of the Bible. I talked about that in the end. So those are the near-death experience accounts of heaven. Now, can you see that below? People clustering together, forming groups. Absolutely you can. So we are bringing those heavens to earth. We're coming most likely from one of those heavens. And our first instinct is to connect. We want to be connected to others. We are forming groups. Most of us do. So that is a reflection again of what we came from. And we're doing it here. We're bringing that heaven to earth. Now, self-love is the foundation. It is the smallest part of love. But it has to be there. It absolutely has to be there. It is the seed from which everything else is grown. And then love of others. Again, why do you love others? Because you receive of them. Again, that is just self-love. It's all me, me, me. Or the other greater levels of love. Now those that go to, I would say those that go to a heaven where there's family are already on a higher level of consciousness. They know a greater love because that is love of others. Others are definitely contained in that. Where you're not just there for yourself and you don't just love them because they give to you. You shouldn't. But you should want for them as well. Give to them as well. Yeah. So talk about the heaven that is... Oh no, let's talk about greater level of love, greater level of consciousness, higher level of heaven. Yeah? And really, what this world teaches you when you look at nature is to love something because of what it can bring to the group, to the whole, to give of itself something. Again, knowledge is given to serve. You bring your knowledge in order to serve the greater group, and you receive of the knowledge of others. Again, I have been thinking about, here we are obsessed with keeping the body alive, the physical alive. There we are obsessed with keeping consciousness alive because that's all we have left. That is our state of existence then, and if that is no longer there, there is no more existence of self, of the individual consciousness. So here we are saying, well, there's hard times coming and you should prep. Yeah, you should get ready. And there again are different ways. One is the 3 Bs, bullets, beans, and bunkers. Yeah? Get a small group together, you're all obsessed with staying alive, and you bunker yourself in. Another speaks about communities, another way. And again, then we're starting to talk diversity. Yeah, saying you need different skills in that community. You need, different people with different knowledge to create a self-sustaining whole. Or, then there are those that will be the marauding bands that will just go around having dominion over that which somebody else has and just take it and survive in that way. So in order to keep consciousness alive, that is how to keep the body alive. How to keep consciousness alive. Again, consciousness is a vibration in the stillness that creates a form. So you need to keep the vibration going. Yeah, there needs to be movement. And here comes really, let's talk about the monocultures really. Yeah, those are not very diverse in heaven as they were on earth. Is there enough there to keep the vibration going, to sustain themselves? Again, if you are in the bunker, and that is really the bunker situation, yeah? And again, below in a bunker, how long will you last? Before, again, you have to go out to forage, to receive of something else or connect to something else, maybe to another survival group. Yeah, sooner or later you will be forced to come out of your bunker. And I think those are the lower astral realms, heavens, and that is those that are purely self-love, that cannot sustain themselves, that will need to connect to something here to receive energy in order for consciousness to survive. There may be other heavens where the need to connect to this is not there. They might come back to out of the desire to give of what they knew in that heaven. But they will not come back out of need, because their heaven is diverse enough. And they have learned to love somebody, and that is the higher level of love. They have to learn to love something that is not like themselves. They have learned to see the good in something that is not like themselves. Yes, they're not saying, I am the only good thing here, and everything needs to be like me, and that's how you create this monoculture heaven where they all love each other because they all think they are the greatest thing since sliced bread, and they're all the same. So again, we could come back with different intentions, and one can be need, because we are in a state of consciousness that cannot sustain itself. And the more diverse heaven, the ability to love something that is not like yourself, would be the more sustainable. Now, I think at this point I will, and see, this is where we go. We need to keep the movement going in order for something to exist. And this world teaches you to love something that is not like you. It makes you see how different levels of consciousness can give to one another, and you learn to love the lion, because you know it is given to the whole, although it's nothing like you. And you may not agree with what it is doing, but you can see the outcome that it is doing something for the whole. And you learn to love that. And again, that is a higher level of love, and that is a higher level of consciousness. Now, talking about the heaven that apparently created us in the story. Again, trying to keep the vibration going. Yeah? The story of our creation in the heaven is actually not in the material. It's speaking about the spiritual, about consciousness detached from the body in the first instant until we came here. And God created man from the dust of this earth, and he breathed his life into him. Again, that which keeps God going, which keeps the vibration going, which keeps the consciousness alive. And that intention is to have dominion over everything. Now, in this world, and because it is against this world, nothing rules over everything, that heaven will always be in adversity. But that is how it derives its life, out of adversity. That is what keeps it going, which apparently seems to be a way of keeping consciousness alive, but I wonder if that is a terribly good way. And again, you see those, I mean, apart from Papa Schwab and all of them that are following on this path, you see what I refer to as the drama queens that you probably know within your own social circle that thrive on conflict, that keeps them going. Or those that have churches and then they create conflict with those around them. Again, we all love each other inside of that church. We're all the same, we're all in agreement. God forbid somebody should have another thought or ask questions, they get shut out. So we have this, we are all one in this little group, and we are in conflict with everything else around us that is different from us. Again, a reflection of a heaven being brought to earth. And again, it is self-love. Loving the other because he's exactly like you. And not being able to love something that is not like you, which is the greater love. Which is what this earth is trying to teach us. It is trying to get us to a higher level of consciousness. And as I said, as above, so below. If you have a heaven that is diverse, there's probably no need to come back here. There's definitely no need to attach yourself to something here to suck out the energy. Yeah, you're a consciousness that can sustain itself. But then you might come back out of the desire to give, out of the desire to help, to bring a knowledge. Of course, in order to do that, you would need to have something here that is on the same level as yourself, again, in order so that the living person would be able to know you. Again, there might not be many here that can receive for a knowledge from that level of consciousness, because they are not that themselves. So then, are the heavens a trap? Well, here is, can you exist on your own, completely detached from everything else? Consciousness. I mean, in your body, it'd be hard enough here. And if you say, well, people go into the wilderness and they survive on their own, they're not on their own. They're surrounded by nature. They are surrounded by consciousness. They're not alone. They're just not with other people. but they're not alone. So can you exist completely by yourself? And I don't think you can. So the heavens, no, they're not a trap, they are a necessity. We need to be with others, in body and in consciousness. We need to be connected. One cannot survive on its own. The Lord God needs an entire heaven to serve him, for him to survive. He's not on his own. So, no, they're not a trap, but if you are something here, a consciousness here, and you go into that heaven, and then you're becoming even more of that consciousness, that perception of itself and everything else around it. So, and then you're coming from that level here, and then you're recreating that heaven here. So you're not changing. You're constantly going from one place to here and back to that place, and then it is a trap. Because you're not changing. But here you have the ability to change. You could become something else. You could go either to a different heaven or even to a higher level of consciousness. But then you have to change something here while you're here. You have to change yourself. And then you might come to a place where, again, we're talking about the emerald tablets here, we're talking about Thoth. When he says, I went to many worlds, I took on many forms. He was able to immerse himself into different consciousnesses and experience their worlds. And then he was definitely not a oneness. But again, in order to be able to become a traveler of worlds, we will need to become diverse in the knowledge of ourselves. So we could enter into something else. If we're just a oneness, then there's only one place we can go. And then it's a trap. Anyway, that was a lot, and I think I'll leave it at that for today, for your consideration. And I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.